between dozens of teenagers. Police had to be called in to stop the fighting. Tomas Roman has the story.
More than 50 San Francisco police officers responded to an officer needs help call from Woodrow Wilson High School. The officer who called at about noon found himself outnumbered by some 200 to 300 students.
The situation escalated, and he was overwhelmed with the amount of people, so he called for assistance.
Is this an officer who's normally...
Who works the schools?
Some students say that today's fight was a continuation of a fight that broke out at last night's basketball game.
That was yesterday, and today...
You had it on again.
It just happened.
The fight last night was between some black and Latino students. So was today's brawl. The school gets students from the Bayview, Mission, Sunnydale, Potrero, and Sunset districts. Some kids say that's a volatile mix. The 200 to 300 students rioting inside forced police and school officials to end classes early.
They were rumbling up in the... So they had knives in the back. That's why we left.
Extra muni buses were called in to get the students out of the area quickly.
Clear the hill. Get that whole hill cleaned off.
To try to avoid further conflict, the school let out two groups of students. One group was black, the other group Latino. They both left at two different times and mounted two different buses.
Police say this is the first trouble in months of this size, which was possibly racially motivated. School officials say the problem was between kids that didn't get along. Color wasn't necessarily the main reason. One teenager summed it all up.
We need help. Wilson High School needs help.
What kind of help?
Everything, man. We need for educational-wise, because pretty much other students that come here just cut. They come here to f around. I mean, excuse me. That's to get their education. So that's what I'm saying. Just we need help.
Police and school officials are planning an assembly to talk it all out. Police may have extra security in place for a while. In San Francisco, Tomas Roman, Channel 5, Eyewitness News.
Basketball related.
It wasn't about gangs. It was different races, you know, having their arguments.
School officials decided to dismiss classes for the day, but police were afraid the fighting would spread to the streets, so students were kept at Wilson until buses could be brought to the campus to take the kids home. One student was arrested for assault with a deadly weapon, a trash can. Police say there were no serious injuries. There are no classes tomorrow. It's a teacher training day. School officials hope that anger will calm down in the intervening day, and there will be extra security on campus.
At the Woodrow Wilson High School, because of some racial fighting, nobody injured. School officials told police that tensions, in fact, have been mounting since yesterday when a black and a Latino student got into a fight. Well, that tension escalated today, and fighting involved several students. Police called in when school security said they couldn't stop the fighting. The black and Latino students were kept apart after school, sent home in separate buses. There was one arrest. No classes tomorrow because of teacher training. It had already
Escalated into a brawl that spread throughout the entire school and touched off a near riot. Rob Roth reports.
Racial tension ran so high at Woodrow Wilson High School in San Francisco's Potrero district this afternoon, police had to close the school and send the students home.
I want all the people from the cafeteria to come on outside. Let's go. Get on this bus.
Police hustled Latino students on one bus and African-American students on another.
Hey!
Go.
Hey, the bus, go.
Students and school officials say the trouble began yesterday when an African-American student and a Latino student got into a fight during a playground basketball game. Students say bad feelings carried over. It was no longer a dispute between two individuals. It became racial. School officials say today at lunch there was an argument in a courtyard between two other Latino and African-American students.
We tried to diffuse it, and it was diffused out there. Then all of a sudden, another, let's say, physical altercation occurred between two kids. And then another one erupted. And each time one erupted, we were able to let's say, disperse each one of them or pull them apart and stop it. Then all of a sudden it just became, you know, let's say, sort of crowd control.
There's probably 200 to 300 people in a courtyard involved in basically threatening each other. And at that time, they closed the school down.
No one was injured. Police arrested one student for assaulting another student with a trash can. And they arrested this student for creating a disturbance. Witnesses say today was mostly name-calling and macho posturing.
Oh, just the tension, everybody, crowd yelling, you know, fight, whatever, you know. And I think it just got to their head and said, let's put a show on. Mainly, I think it's just a show, you know, they just want to show who's tougher or whatever. It's stupid.
They say they don't like them, and then the other group says they don't like them, and then they, one person gets into a fight, and then they make it more than just that fight. they make it into like a gang thing.
Now school officials must find a way to ease the tension here.
We need to bring them all together, and we need to discuss the issue. We can't avoid the issues.
Wilson High School will be closed tomorrow for teacher training, something that was planned a while ago. But police say they will have officers here on campus when classes resume on Thursday. In San Francisco, Rob Ross for the 10 o'clock news.
Called the Woodrow Wilson High after a wild melee erupted between black and Latino students. It started during the noon-hour recess. Police say it was not gang-related and may not have been race-related either.
It was a situation that started yesterday over a basketball court. So we can get down to brass tacks and say it's basketball related.
It wasn't about gangs. It was different races, you know, having their arguments.
There will be no classes at Woodrow Wilson tomorrow, but not because of violence. Tomorrow was a faculty training.
A racial fight today at Woodrow Wilson High School. Black and Latino students went after one another in a dispute that started yesterday. Classes were dismissed early and one student was arrested for assaulting somebody.